My name is Calvin, and this is my one and only grad defense. Oh, I can't read that from there. I'll have to read it up here. Here I am at my grad defense. I've come a long way from hiding underneath the table at my first exhibition my 101 year. As you may have guessed, presenting is not my specialty. As a community member, I'm mostly a brother and a son. I do get involved outside my home and school when I feel compelled to. For example, I helped a friend and a neighbor campaign for school board. I learned best with hands-on experiences. I spent most of my childhood building Legos. I'm visual as well. I need to see things rather than just hearing about them. The community school was perfect for me because of its diverse community. For my strengths, I'm good at building, assembling, and thinking in my own way. For my work areas, I get frustrated really easily, and sticking with things is a little bit difficult for me as well, especially when I'm not interested in them. For example, I've been working on an Axon cosplay that's taken me 4 years. I'll explain more of that after this. For my pathway, I'm going to University of Advancing Technology in Arizona. We went to a college fair in my 201 year. I think that was with Tammy, so that's something. And I saw the UAT booth. It looked like a good fit for me, so I signed up for more information. My 301 year, I did a virtual tour of the campus because of COVID. This April, my dad and I went to the campus for an in-person visit, and I was hooked at the moment I stepped in the door. University of Advancing Technology is a 4-year technical school focused on programming, video game development, and robotics. I chose UAT because of its robotics program, and it's a small school, only around 300-ish students, and it's a project-based learning and hands-on, which is an environment that I can thrive in. For one of the reasons why I should go to UAT is because I'm intrigued by technology. I learn the best when I'm interested in something. This school is a great place for me to grow my area of interest. I have some experience with technology. For example, I have the radio, my computer, and my generator. I will show you them now. This is Kevin, our generator, or our radio. This was one of my favorite projects because we had to work in a group with a whole bunch of other people to make a radio that works. The reason why we had to do this, actually I can't remember the reason why we did this, but one of the learning experiences that I had to figure out with this was how it tied in with the Great Depression. And it also taught me that building things that work is fun. This is the generator that Harley and I built. Harley is in the background. This is another school project that I liked a lot. For the learning, we had to do energy audits and how they tied in with generators, since less efficient houses, otherwise known as older houses, aren't energy efficient at all. This is evidence that I work well with my hands. That was the wrong button. And this is my pride and joy, my computer that I built at home, that I mainly use for gaming, but can also double as a school computer. Mainly gaming. This is a great example of growth. I did all the research and I knew what I needed in order to build it. Oh, goody, the painful stuff. For my application, I had to tell them about what makes me me and how I would be a good fit for their program. Unfortunately, I can't really show you the application because the computer's over there and I...
Go over there.
Oh, okay. Well, before I do that, I'll tell you it took a lot of time and work, and I worked on it with Jackie at school and at home with my mom and dad. And now I'm going to show you. This is basically a 5-paragraph essay on what makes me me. Back to the slideshow. Oh, crap. For my argument 3, I have the right place and how it's affordable. UAT is a unique school because I have to take basic credits and my major credits, the thing that I'm interested in, which is robotics, at the same time. Most schools make you take your basic credits first before you can do the fun stuff. That would not have worked with me. For the money aspect, I have my 529, which is something my parents and my grandparents have set up since I was a baby, and they've basically been saving money for a long time, and this is called a 529 plan. The money is managed and invested so it continues to grow. I also received not 1 but 2 scholarships. I just figured out about the second one, so that's why it's not up there, which will help. And the best part was I didn't even have to try to get those. This is one of them. For my general education requirements, I need 36 credits in order to get my bachelor's degree in science. Another thing that I also have to get in order to get my bachelor's degree and also robotics is all of these. And if you can't read what they are, I'll list off a couple of them. For one of the classes I have to do is digital logic basic processor design, 3D building tools, and C/C++ programming. These are some of the things I'm going to be doing in UAT. In conclusion, I believe that I am ready for my chosen pathway to attend UAT because I have found a place that is a good fit for me, and it's techy and small and a project-based learning environment. I will be able to continue with projects like the radio, generator, and my computer. I applied, I was accepted, I visited with my dad, and we talked on the phone with the admissions person and special services person and my academic advisor. And my 529 will help me with my tuition. Thank you all for coming to my not my exhibition, my grad defense.
Thank you, Calvin. I would normally say this a little bit later, but those of us who have watched you do years of exhibitions every semester on this, I mean, that was clearly just such an amazing show of growth. From the table story is a real story, the hiding under the table.
Like yesterday was hiding underneath tables.
This is what life is all about, is growth, getting better. Where were you? Not an absolute measure, but a measure of who Calvin is and where he's been and where he's going. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking or I'll get too emotional.
And I'm going to chime in, Calvin, I'm so proud of you. That was amazing.
Thanks. Oh, yeah.
Standing ovation.
Oh yeah, I forgot to finish the Axe story. The reason why it took 4 years to finish it is because it's 8 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a 1-to-1 scale, which is it's a 1-to-1 scale, which I'm starting to regret making. Thanks, Harley. Yeah, it's your fault. It was worth it, though.
Well, Calvin, we're going to turn it over to the panel to ask you some questions and give you some feedback, and then you'll give them some thoughtful answers to their probing questions.
Okay.
I can. As soon as you started talking about liking to build things and take things apart, work with your hands, I had wrote engineering question mark, and then you talked about going to UAT. So it's really cool that you're making that next step. Is there? You talked about a couple of different projects. Some are moving parts, some are stagnant pieces, or I guess not pieces. But is there like going into robotics? Is there a type of thing that you would really love to make? Like I think you asked a question earlier. If someone walked in and said, "Here's all of this money, make your dream project." Is there a type of thing or
Rover.
a rover like Mars?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Can you go a little deeper into that? Where's that interest come from? Yeah.
I would make a rover that's different from all the other rovers. Instead of it having wheels, it would have any of... Harley, have you played the game? I can't remember the name of it, but it's based off of walkers, and it's in a desert. Basically, you would have rovers that have walkers instead of wheels that could traverse farther and hopefully require less maintenance. That's the word.
I don't know if you watch the show Robot Wars.
Robot Wars.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I can picture you being on a team who's created some kind of thing to go into this arena and battle other robots.
Don't tempt me.
It's just going to step on the
Don't tempt me. I want to do it now.
Calvin, I enjoyed your presentation quite a bit. I love the energy and the enthusiasm you showed for the courses that are going to be in your major, robotics. Tell me a little bit about the gen ed courses that I know they're making you take. Where do you think you have an opportunity to learn there? What are you a little bit excited about being able to explore outside of your major?
That's a great question. Hadn't really thought of that. I'll have to think of that next time.
How do you feel, to follow up on that, this idea of the reality of a four-year college, as Eric is alluding to there, that there are those general learning requirements that are outside of your major that may not be as much your thing. What's your mindset going into that?
Like I said on a certain slide, I don't like to do stuff if I'm not interested in them, so I'm going to try and work on that. So having to tough through it and do it is what I have to do.
I'm 44 years old, still working on that.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's a lifelong learning journey that we all are on, and trying to stick with those things we don't like, and how do we fit them. How do I make that assignment be something I really actually want to do, even to make it more interesting? I appreciated very much in your presentation that you talked not only about your strengths, but you called them your work areas, your things. You said that you were frustrated and had a hard time sticking with things that you don't like. And I think it is so reflective that you were able to put that on a slide. And I appreciate that. And my question for that, how can you use those things to your benefit? Like where or how can you use being frustrated when you're at school? How can that be a good thing?
Well, there was a situation that Jackie knows about. It was with D&D. And basically, I couldn't go to D&D, which is something I really wanted to do, if I didn't get my work done. So I did my work as best as I could at the time so I could go to D&D. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like that, but just in a different way. So if I don't get my general education credits done, then I won't be able to do my robotics, and I don't want that, so I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it sounds like you know to use those. Get the icky, not fun stuff done first and reward yourself with something that you appreciate more.
Oh, 25% of my grade is that.
That's good.
Calvin, I want to say, I think you really set yourself up for success choosing the college that you did. The fact that it's hands-on, project-based, just like TCS is, I think it's going to be really great for you, it sounds like. I was wondering, in your 4 years at community school, was there ever a time when you were unsure about what career field you wanted to go to, or did you kind of always know that tech and robotics was for you?
It was definitely my 101 year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to do for my college. I didn't even think about college because that was 4 years ago. And time just went out the window.
It does. Were there any projects that you worked on that year that kind of inspired this passion for technology you have now?
It wasn't that year, but it was actually the year after. I think that was that the radio or? No, the radio and the generator were this year. I did want a better computer, but I didn't know how to build one, so I wanted to go more into technology. And funny enough, I actually didn't find UAT. One of my friends found UAT. Harley actually knows this friend, Jack. Jack Baker III. In 201 year, as I mentioned, we went to the college fair with Tammy. Jack found this school, thought it would look interesting. I asked him if he had the contact information for it. So I asked him, and he gave it to me. And then I got UAT.
Nice, that's a good friend.
Unfortunately, he doesn't go to the school anymore.
Well, I really enjoyed your presentation. I'm happy for you that you're going to a great school.
Thank you.
I don't think I was ever able to really tell you this, I should have. I really missed having you in project after your 201 year, just your humor, being in project and all the fun that we were having 101, 201 year. I missed you having you in project and doing all that stuff. So it's really fun to see what you've done and where you're going in the next years to come. We are going to be doing a pretty decent amount of AI robotic stuff in project next year. Now,
Of course, the year I'm leaving.
well, you saw the AI genetic stuff. It's not what it's going to be now, but we did a little AI genetic stuff when you were 101, I think.
He got a grade.
Yeah. Got a grant. Got enough.
Maybe
No,
you inspired him.
But my ask is, I've never had a TCS student teleport into the classroom via maybe a Google Meet or something like that. We've done a lot of other professionals that come in and they can be guest folks. My wonder is, would you be willing to be a guest in a future project with some 101s and 201s, and you can maybe be online and tell our students what you do and what the college is like.
Straight from UAT Robotics Lab.
Yeah.
That
Would
would.
you be willing to be a guest for a project next year?
Why not?
You will help me graduate.
That's not what I said. Your words, not mine, Dad.
So, Calvin, I could say so many things. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. Your somewhat deadpan nature belies how deeply you care about other people. And you mentioned friends a few times. I guess of the many things I could say about you, the one I want to highlight is your care and acceptance of any and all throughout the 4 years. And that's not just kids and your friends, that's all people. I don't know that I can think of, there's a lot of acceptance of people at our school, and yet you bring it to a whole different level. You are loved in this universal way, and your care and acceptance of the people around you and the diversity of your friend sets, depending on the situation, whether it's from a wellness to targeted to project to advisory to you have these close relationships that you build and people that love you because of that depth that you have. And I think a person who casually knew you might not realize how much you care. And the last little thing I'll say is, because it popped into my head, is I have this picture of you. Lisa couldn't find her lunch. She had that little lunch
Oh, yeah,
luggage thing, and oh my gosh, you were beside yourself needing to help her find the kind of, I know you were younger, but you almost felt like you were the big brother protector of Risa. You did that so many times, and I just remember that one particular day. You weren't going to rest until she had her lunch. That popped into my head as an anecdotal example, but thank you for